My name is Jim Tinger. I am the youth director for the town of New Paltz, and I run the town of New Paltz youth program. And New Paltz does Halloween really well. So there's a lot of different events that happen throughout the town, and we've just been one of them for many, many years. It's just been a fun thing that we do with the kids. We help build it. They help build it with us, and we perform it for the community every year. The whole town is really crowded. It's really like when you think about Halloween and trick-or-treating, this town is, everybody seems to come to this town to do it. We're very busy here, so just on a normal days, so to try to run a youth program while trying to build a haunted house at the same time, we can't shut down and build it, so we have to kind of build around it. And it's crazy because everything in the house turns into a haunted house. Like every single part of this house looks different, so it takes a lot of work. But yeah, we've been doing it for a long time, and yeah, it's a lot of fun. Honestly, the week before, we are about 2% done, and it's like 80% of it gets done over a course of 3 or 4 days. The last 3 to 4 days. We always say like the haunted house we don't stop building the haunted house until the haunted house starts, and then we know we have to stop and just kind of go with it. When Halloween is on like a Sunday, that's the best thing because then you can do Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But usually, like this year, it's just the night before and the day of, and we go from 6 to 10. So it's a lot of work for only a couple of hours really. So the best time to come actually is the night before because it's crowded, but it's manageable. And sometimes on Halloween, people are waiting extended periods of time to go through. Because it takes a while. We have guided tours that go through the house. Each tour takes probably 5 to 10 minutes or so. We take like groups of 6 or 7 through. So once a guide takes a group upstairs, another guide is taking a group through the front. But we always get into a group, and it's always good. It has never been. I've never walked out the second night and gone, that was terrible. It's always good, and people always enjoy it, and it's a nice little fundraiser for us as well.
My name is Jerry Burns. I teach in the Department of Communication, and my PhD is in social welfare, but I have been a storyteller for a very long time, a professional storyteller, and I've traveled many places. And so I have been studying folklore for Samhain is an old Celtic tradition. See, back in the time of the Celts, there was the Celtic religion, and it also involved a celebration of festivals throughout the year. One of the festivals was Samhain that took place on October 31st. It was the Celtic New Year's Eve, in fact, and it was a time that it was closing up the summer, because that's what Samhain means, I believe it's summer, and it was closing up the summer and getting ready for the long winter ahead. But on October 31st, in that night, they say that the veil between the other world and our world thinned or lifted. The line diminished so that people from the other world, the earlier gods, would be able to come out of the other world and into ours. So supernatural entities were afoot on that night. And so a lot of what happened during Samhain involved managing the influx of people who were coming. The whole idea of guising and souling and dressing up and going to people's houses came to America with immigrants, Scottish and Irish immigrants, and it got passed around, and then the adaptation of the pumpkin came along, and somewhere along the way, before the 1930s, people were just so interested in the idea of serious pranking, and it was serious, and it kind of got out of hand. And so culturally, people said, all right, in the 1930s, let's create an easier way of approaching this trick or treat. And I think part of the reason it came is because the trick traditionally was not a prank. It was not trying to get the better of somebody, but rather the trick was to do a short little performance, demonstrate this trick that I can do in order to earn a gift, a food gift or money, right? But then the term trick, the way it got Americanized perhaps was I imagine it got turned into prank, and sometimes the prank was a very serious thing. So they tried to grab up this whole idea and create a gentler sort of holiday in the 30s, but it didn't stick because going around for candy during wartime couldn't happen because of sugar rationing and so forth. So it wasn't until really the 1950s and the spread of suburbia where this idea of trick-or-treating as we know it really got lots and lots of momentum.
Hello everyone, we are the Body Buccaneers. We're going to do a song called The Gypsy Rover. We hope you enjoy it.
Ah-dee-doo, ah-dee-doo, da-day, ah-dee-doo, ah-dee-day. He whistled and he sang till the greenwood rang, and he won the heart of the lady.
It's past your bedtime. And ever, and ever. What? It doesn't fall at all.
Careful where you're going. My name is Tim Rogers. I'm Village of New Paltz mayor. Was born and raised in this area. Went to New Paltz High School. New Paltz has always been a place that enjoyed celebrating Halloween. My first memories would be like trick-or-treating in the neighborhood where I grew up. You know, house to house, getting candy. I definitely still dress up now.
What was your costume last year?
It's funny because like quick low-tech costumes either go really well or really poorly. So more recently, a costume that I've done that has worked, and I did this with my partner, where I just put on like a long black sleeve shirt and pants and then just use like masking tape to make it look like a skeleton. And I loved kind of like the homemade look to it, but like it was like clear that, oh, you're trying to be a skeleton. So I love it when it's simple but it still works. It would probably help that she had a more conventional looking skeleton costume that kind of made it clear that I was trying to be a skeleton too. But I think what's fun about New Paltz's Halloween celebration is the parade, how it's an opportunity for the community to gather, where folks are marching down the street or on the sidewalks. Like, it's a very like fun, festive time for our community to get together and for neighbors to come and do something in New Paltz. So historically, the parade would go from up at the middle school, down Main Street, make a left where P&G's and Manny's are, and then head back up the hill to this Village Hall complex when the fire station had been located here. So we had an idea, and it had been discussed for several years, even before COVID, where might it make sense once the fire station was relocated, because we built a new super energy efficient green fire station in a different part of the community, that Huguenot Street would be the final destination for the parade. And so that event, happened for the first time last year. I think actually one of the things that I enjoy the most about the parade is, so everyone gathers up at the middle school. You look around, you see this enormous collection of people, and you're like, there's this many people there this year. And then as you march down Main Street, people join the parade. And I think that's what's unique about it, is like it's a combination of marchers and spectators and both. So I make a point every year, kind of like once you get into the middle of the route around where the bus station is. Like, I look down and I look back up because it's really fun to see just like a sea of people in both directions. And I mean, and you think about like our community, like it's definitely the only time all year that you see that many people in one place at one time. Or like, I like to joke that it's the second largest Halloween parade in North America after Greenwich Village, you know, just so.